We were in Mumbai. We were working on something completely different. We had had contact with Snahalya, and they asked to have lunch. And so we said yes. And he said, would you like to do a home for exploited sex workers? And I said, yes, of course we would. Because you go where the need is the greatest. And for thousands of years, women sex workers have been exploited. And later, when we did more research and got photos and more details, you saw how horrific the situation was. So we just said yes. And it was really that simple. All the rest is detail.
So my very first memory very clearly is we had entered this one particular room that a young woman uses to service her clients, and I was a bit heartbroken because it was this tiny little, almost sort of, I think it was about 7 feet by 7 feet room with a tiny mattress just strewn on the floor, and there were windows but they were shut tight. So I asked her, there's no air. How do you manage, because the windows are shut? She said, we need privacy. There are people who, sometimes come and invade privacy when we are servicing a client. That's when I realized that, one must address this issue, one must look at it. Where we did the workshop was a really large community hall, and we used thread and chalk, and we had water to wet the chalk. We used that to divide the large community hall into like 6 spaces, and the women formed groups and they had to visualize what their space looked like. We couldn't get the best contractors and the best laborers to come in. It's a red light neighborhood, so a lot of them were not willing to come in, and we had to make do with the ones who agreed to come and work in that neighborhood. And the women actually helped us identify these laborers and these subcontractors to come and work with us. The upstairs area, we went through a number of workshops with the women. What happened was that while we were going through that process, what emerged was all of them wanted to learn how to read and write. And I thought that was very powerful in the way that that's what they requested happen first. In that moment, I believe that they were able to take away those memories of just sitting there and ideating and imagining a different life perhaps.